Hello, 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 everyone. Come on into the webinar. My name is Linda Peavy, and I'm going to be your host for this evening where, I'm so excited that you decide to come on because we're going to talk about grants. Yes, and how you can still get grant money. Absolutely. And how there are even more grants available now than in some other areas, right? That's the surprise. So we're going to talk about how you can go about getting them. So my name is Linda Peavy. I'm in the land, not too far from Cleveland, Ohio. So as you come in, please give that city and that state a shout out. I want to know where you are coming in from. All right, let me know. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Let me know where you are coming in from. Let me know where you are coming in from. Hey, Cincinnati, Ayesha Brown, Cincinnati, Cincinnati. I was just in Cincinnati a couple of weeks ago in Ohio, representing Ohio. And Lisa's coming in from Maryland. Don't be shy. Let me know where you're coming in from. I'm going to scoot up just a little bit closer to you. All right, just a little bit closer. Novellar, is that right? Novellar from the Bama. There we go. The Bama has shown up. Alabama, Prattville, Alabama. Who else is with us? I'm in the land, not too far from Cleveland, Ohio. And again, I am so glad that you showed up because I'm going to give you the correct information about grants and how, yes, there are still grants very, 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 very much available, even increased levels of grants. You just have to know where to look. And that's what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to get started. Hello, no, is it Nolia or Nolia? Nolia or Nolia from Louisiana has shown up. Hello, Nolia or Nolia, which one is it? Want to pronounce that name right? Nolia. Nolia, I think I got it right. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to get started because I have a lot of information to share with you, and I want to make sure everything is pulled up correctly. And then we are going to get started. Let's share right there. Everything is looking good. All right. Nope, 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 nope. That is not what we wanted to have happen. All right. Let's try this one more time. One more time. All right. Let's get this going. There we go. All right, we don't want that up. We want this up. So let's make sure that is going to be back up as we share again. I think this is going to happen correctly this time. Yes, yes, yes. And this is grant writing for women-owned businesses and women-led nonprofits. Just make sure everybody is in the right place. And my name is Linda Peavy. And yes, they call me the Grants Queen because I have secured almost $18 million now in funding and business development. And this is year 17 of me owning my company, LaPav Consulting. And every one of those years, I've been a professional grant writer. And now I teach grant writing all across the country to many of your smaller organizations, your private organizations, but also some of your larger firms and companies such as Goldman Sachs and the Urban League. And I'm a proud alumnus of the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. Now, let me just mention my undergrad and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron. Go Zips now in Akron, Ohio. And let's see. I have a business now, but I used to lead a nonprofit. So I've been on both sides of that coin. So I want to know who is here with me. Are you a small business? Meaning you could be a sole proprietor, you could be a partnership, you could be an LLC, you could even be a solopreneur, or maybe you are a nonprofit, or maybe you're both. because I'm finding that a lot of for-profit small businesses are opening nonprofits. So maybe you're both. So let me know. Let me know who is here with me. This is absolutely not for nonprofits only. That's what I'm talking about now. This is for profits, meaning you could be an LLC, you could be a sole proprietor, you could be a solopreneur, you could be a S corp, or you could be a nonprofit, right? And so what I'm finding is that a lot of small businesses are starting nonprofits. So maybe you're both. So let me know, small business, nonprofit, or both. And what I want to express to you all is that there are grants for both entities. So if you are a small business, meaning you are for profit, there are grants for you. If you are a nonprofit, there are grants for you. All right. So you are in the right place. All right. You're in the right place. So how did I get here? I used to be a publishing executive in Pennsylvania. I was there for 10 years, used to travel all around the world, and the bottom fell out. I got hurt. And when I got hurt, I literally had to come back to Cleveland to get well. Literally came home in a wheelchair. And I went from traveling the world to putting everything I own in a storage unit and moving in with my sister. And it took me 2 years to recuperate, 2 years from being in bed and just recuperating to the point where I could even work again. And when I was able to work again, I couldn't find a job because my experience was in publishing, traditional publishing, right? And in Cleveland, it's not exactly the publishing mecca of the United States. So I couldn't find a job. That is when I started my own company, LaPav Consulting. Now, after I started LaPav Consulting, one of my first positions was a contract position to be the executive director of a nonprofit. Now, I was maybe there a couple of weeks. First of all, let me just say to all of you, I like to keep things real, right? I'm going to be very open and transparent with you all this evening, all right? And I don't think I was in that job 2 weeks before I was called into the board of directors office and told that I had to write a grant that would literally pay for my salary, right? Because there was no money. And some of you might know that there are times when, right, us women, right, we are called in to do what? To save the program, sometimes to save the day, sometimes to save the entire organization. Well, I was called in to write this grant that was paid for my own salary. I had never seen a grant before. Okay. I had zero knowledge of grants, and I'm being asked to write one that would pay for my job, thus save my job, thus save the organization. And you talk about pressure. But you know what? I did it. I did the research. I wrote that grant. I won the grant, and it paid for my salary for the year. And I learned then, first of all, you can win grants with zero experience. I had sub-zero experience, okay? Because I was sick and had to get well before I could even conceive of writing a grant. But I did it with no experience, and I know that you can do it as well. But it also taught me what you can do with grant money. Because I hear from you. I've been in this industry for 17 years, and I know that you are tired of using your own money. Yes, to fund your nonprofit or to fund your small business or to fund your idea, right? I was just looking at a grant today that was a startup grant that would literally pay you just for your idea. So for those of you who are thinking, oh, I need lots of money to get started and to get a grant, no. There are some grants that will pay you for your idea. All right. And also think about what you can do with grant money. You're using some other organization's money to fund your dream. And you can hire staff. You can hire help. You can hire supplies. You can pay for administrative fees with grant money, something that is not paid back. All right, we'll talk more about what you can do with grant money as we move through. What else will we talk about? Why we are even here. And then I will discuss the current grant landscape. You need to know what is happening. And then we'll talk about how do you prepare to apply for grants, and then what do you write in that application and how do you write it so that you are attracting the organizations that want to give you funding, because grants are competitive. And then I want to show you how to conduct the grant research so that you can find the organizations that want to give you funding. And then I have a surprise for you at the end. But before we get to that, let's talk about Q&A. Please, this is not the time to be shy. This is your opportunity to ask a grants expert questions about grants. All right? This is your opportunity. And then I'm going to show you also a list, just so that you understand that there are grants available right now, regardless to what you are hearing in the media or on the news. There are grants available right now, right? I've developed this incredible framework that helps organizations to win grants, and they are winning grants daily. So please don't believe everything that you read in the media about, oh, there are no grants, all right? Now, why are we here? Because we as women leaders, we need access to funding. And guess what? It should always be about loans. Are you as tired as I am of hearing about loans? I am. I'm tired of hearing about loans. I want to talk about grant money because we don't pay grant money back. All right. And what you need to know is that you all can do this. All of you can do this. Grant writing is not what it used to be. You don't have to be afraid. It's not like you're writing some 100-page document. Do you know that foundations no longer have the staff to sort through and read 100-page grant applications? That's why grant applications now are sometimes 2, 3, 4 pages. But you have to know that there's a process to winning grants. That's what I've learned after having won over $18 million now in grants and in business development. There's a process to winning, and that is what I'm going to teach you tonight. And guess what? Oftentimes, it is more than what you write in that grant application. All right? So you remember that as we move through here. Now, let's talk about what's going on with grants. We know that the federal government, they have cut grants, they have rescinded grants, they've frozen grants, but guess what? Federal grants do not equal all grants. Do you know that there are billions of dollars in grant money available right now to you from private foundations, community foundations, family foundations, corporate foundations, and yes, they give to both small businesses and nonprofits. So I want you to be encouraged in knowing that yes, grants are available. Just keep in mind what I want you to do, though, is to diversify your funding. I don't want you putting all your eggs in one basket, especially now they're what, $12 a dozen. Too expensive. Diversify. Yes, pursue grants, but also pursue sponsorships and individual donations and corporate contracts, right? You want to do it all. You want to diversify that funding. And for you small businesses out there, do you know that you can get corporate contracts? You don't have to be some huge conglomeration. No, you don't. Now, there is a unique opportunity that exists right now for all of you to get grants. One, there's this misnomer that there are no more grants available, or that there are so few grants available to the point where people are not applying for grants. That means there's less competition, meaning I want you to swoop in and start applying for these grants. Also, opportunity number 2, your local foundations and corporate foundations and family foundations and private foundations, they are literally increasing their funding, increasing their grant money that they are providing to try to fill in the gaps created by the federal grant cuts. So here is another opportunity for you to come in and start applying for these grants. And yes, you should be doing it first and foremost locally, maybe with your local community foundation or your local corporation providing grants. It's easier to get local grant money. But again, this is an opportunity that didn't even exist last year, right? Because we didn't have this problem, but it exists now. There are more grants available coming from these organizations and less competition. What does that mean for you? Get in the game. Get in the game. All right, now let's talk about the elephant in the room, DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Once again, we know that the federal government has cut many of these grants labeled as DEI. So what does that mean for you? What does that mean for foundations that literally fund these communities? Guess what? Oh, they are still funding these communities, but they're doing it the smart way. So they're not using DEI, they're using what's called coded language. They're talking about the conditions and the issues and the barriers instead of the ethnicity or the race. And this is what I want you to do. It's called quiet DEI, because whatever you do, you are not changing who you serve. You change how you describe who you serve. There's a way to get around this, and I'm going to show you how. But first of all, more reasons to be encouraged, because you have some organizations that are doubling down on giving to DEI. You go to the website of the Kellogg Foundation or the Ford Foundation, and they are proudly displaying the fact that they give in areas of racial inequity, right? And women and communities of color. They're much less affected by what's going on in Washington. These are very old, well-established foundations with what's called old money, right? But even your new foundations like Google and Apple and Delta and Costco, they are so ingrained in giving to these communities, they haven't changed who they give to. So that they don't feel the wrath of what's coming out of the White House, they changed how they describe who they give their funds to. And this is what you're going to do. This is how you do this. So let's say you have a program that offers youth development opportunities for Black boys. That's what you do. That's who you serve. You don't stop serving Black boys. You're going to switch that language. And now you're going to say, we provide youth development for historically underserved and underrepresented boys. Black boys, right? We call it quiet DEI. You take out the term Black, you put in the issue or the condition. Serving boys disproportionately impacted by economic and educational inequities. Supporting boys from communities designated as high need or underrepresented in STEM. We're talking about the same thing, but we're using smart language now so that we can get this application through, because at the end of the day, your goal is to get your application through. Same situation if you're working on behalf of women, right? We're part of DEI. So maybe you used to could say, I provide employment and career coaching for women. Now you may have to tweak that language, but be prepared. Now you can say our program offers workforce development support for those facing systemic barriers to career advancement. That's another way of saying it. Or providing career development services tailored to those who experience unique workforce challenges due to caregiving responsibilities, wage gaps, and systemic inequities. Do you see what I'm doing? This is so important. Give me a yes in the chat if you get what I'm doing. I have changed how I describe who I serve. I haven't changed who I serve. I'm still serving women. I'm just changing the language. So give me a yes in the chat if you understand what I am doing. This is very important, because this is your workaround as to how you still get that application through. All right. So you may have to tweak that language a bit, but you don't dare stop serving who you serve. You just tweak that language, because your goal is to get that application through. All right. All right. Now let's get back to the basics. What do you need to know? Grants are not paid back, full stop. Now, I saw quite a few nonprofits out there. Make sure you have your 501c3, and make sure you're looking in the chat, because I'm putting a lot of information, a lot of really important links in the chat. So if you don't have the 501c3, go to the IRS. That link is in the chat, but that's your tax-exempt charitable organization designation. It's only taking about 8 weeks to get it now. So get your 501c3. From this point forward, I'm talking to all of you small businesses and nonprofits. Look at this slide here. This is how much grant money is being provided every single year. The most recent numbers from 2023, and look at that number, $189 billion, billion would it be, just coming from foundations and corporations. You don't see federal funding anywhere on here. This is what you need to understand, that there are billions of dollars in grant money being provided every single day. Get in this game, right? And I want you to look at that number, but not be intimidated, but understand that there's a lot of money being provided. And I want you to just think about what you need. I don't want you to look at the number and be intimidated and think, oh, Linda, there's no way I can get any of that money. It's being given out every day. Think about what you need, because you just need a little bit of $189 billion, right? So right now, everybody write in the chat. I want you to write out, I just need a little bit. I want you to write, I just need a little bit. You just need a little bit of $189 billion. You don't need it all. Focus on what you need, so that when you see these numbers, and they are out here, because this is a lot of money being given out. That's what I'm talking about. Lynette, are you trying to be greedy? No, Leah, do you need all $189 billion? No, you just need what you need. Right, Pat? You just need what you need. So that's what I want you all to focus on. How much money do you need? All right. But first, I need for you to be grant ready. This is where too many organizations go wrong. They decide to pursue grants. That's why it is so important to be in a community if you're going to start applying for grants, so that you know what to do and how to do it. You have to be grant ready. Hold up on at least having software editing tools. I love Grammarly. So if you use Grammarly, give yourself some love in the chat. It is a software editing package that is absolutely free. You download it onto your computer, it will self-correct as you write. So you're using it for Word and Excel and your emails. It's free, people. And courtesy of Grammarly, we have improved writing skills dramatically by doing these 15 things. Download the article. Let's see if anybody's using Grammarly. Nobody's using Grammarly. It is phenomenal. It is free. It is free. That's right, Aisha. You just need a little bit. Lena, just need a little bit. Christine, that's right. Lisa, just a little bit. That's what I want you to focus on. Throughout this webinar, I want you to have a number in your head of how much money you need. All right. And then as you are writing your grant applications, download a software editing tool. Why is this important? Because I just don't want you submitting grant applications full of grammatical errors. And it is very easy to do. I am a professional editor, writer, and grant writer. I wouldn't write without Grammarly. It's free, so download it onto your computer. All right. Also, how do you be grant ready? Get your documents in order, your EIN, your employer identification number. Nonprofits, get your 501c3. Now, are you a legitimate organization? Do you have your articles of incorporation? Nonprofits especially, do you have that list of board members? All of you need letters of support. Where are they coming from? Could be your pastor, your church, community leaders. Do you know the mayor or politicians? Drop those names. You also need an operating budget, but don't be afraid of this term, operating budget. All it is a document where you are listing approximately how much money you think you're going to need to operate over the course of a year. And yes, you're estimating. It's just a draft, but it will help you to determine how much grant money you need once you realize how much money you need overall, right? Financial documents. Are you currently operating? Then you will need your balance sheet and your profit and loss statement. Now, I'm going to go through the typical components of a grant application and give you best practices, because I want you to write this application as if you are telling your story. That is very important. A grant application is an opportunity to tell your story. So let's get to the mission statement, because it is everything. And yes, if you are a small business, you absolutely need a mission statement, because your mission is going to lead you to the organizations that want to give you money. Yes, it defines who you are, what you do, your aims and your goals, but you should be aligning your mission to the mission of that foundation before you apply, to make sure there's a match. So if you are laser focused on K through 12 education, make sure you are seeking grants from a foundation that has a passion for education. So align, align, align. Now, this next section is how you're going to set yourself apart from the pack. It is how you describe your organization. I need for you to use impact. Talk about your impact using real numbers. You've got to track your success. Do you have a homeless ministry? How many homeless people do you place in shelters every year? You have a restaurant. How many people do you serve every year? How many jobs do you create every year? Grant funding right now is all about you being able to describe how well you've impacted your community. And let's say you haven't even opened. Let's say you have a tutoring organization. You want to tutor high school kids. Doesn't matter if you are a nonprofit or for profit. You need to write about what you hope your impact will be once you open your tutoring organization. So you can write that once the students complete my tutoring organization, I expect, or tutoring program, I expect that they will increase their reading scores by 10% or their math scores by 10%. So whether you are currently open or maybe you are looking to open, you can still talk about impact. This is how funding is being given right now. And then when you write, you always write as if you are solving a problem or addressing an issue, always. And there's always an issue. And a lot of small businesses really struggle with this concept. So I want to give you an example of a small business, a bakery. A bakery wants to locate in a downtown community and get a $20,000 grant. You might be thinking, what is the issue, right? What is the problem? She's making cakes all day. Well, maybe she decided that she's going to open up a vegan bakery because there are none in the area and vegans need baked goods too. Or maybe it's about economic development because there have been a lot of other failed businesses where she wants to operate. And so she wants a community development grant. So it doesn't matter your profit status. If you're a nonprofit or for profit, you must write these grant applications as if you're addressing an issue because that issue is going to lead you to the foundation that wants to give you money because they're going to be giving money in the same area that you're addressing. All foundations have a target population and a target area of interest. So go to their websites and find out what they are. Now, I know we say 90% of foundations don't have a website, but a lot of the larger ones do. And this gives you an opportunity to really do some research and get information about the ones that don't. Now, all of you have a decision to make. Are you asking for operating grant money or program project grant money? Now, look, we love operating grants. Oh, yes, we do. Because when you get an operating grant, you get to decide where to put the grant money. A lot of it can be placed for capacity building to pay your administrative costs, your salaries, your lease, your IT, building a website. About 32% of grants go to general operating support, right? Most grant money has to go to a particular program or project, which is okay because, again, oftentimes when we think about these two terms, we think about nonprofits, but as a small business, you can have a program or a project too. Think about that bakery. She's a for-profit. Maybe she wants to start a delivery service. That could be a program or a project. All right. But whatever you do, apply to multiple foundations. This is key. And I want you to tell me in the chat why. Why do you think you have to apply to multiple foundations? Keep in mind, ladies, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon, right? So let me know in the chat. What do you think? Why do you think you have to apply to multiple foundations? Why do you think that is? Tell me in the chat. Why? Ayesha, yes, a better chance of landing grants. Absolutely. Absolutely. Better chances of getting something funded. Tracy, Lynette, better chances to get funded. Yes. But also here's another reason. Grants are not guaranteed. Don't let anybody tell you that. That's how people get scammed. I hear horror stories all the time, by the way. I mean, really bad stuff about people being scammed because somebody told them, oh, if you give me a couple of dollars here, I'm going to guarantee you grant money. Everybody that applies will win, right? you're right. Sometimes it's because funding gets low, but you don't want to let the funding get low or depleted. You want to start applying for grants way before that time. But also, Nalia, it's great practice. It really is great practice, right? But keep in mind, also, it's because grants are not guaranteed. Don't be fooled. Don't let people swindle you. They're out there. The scammers are out there. Now, community partnerships are everything, and each and every one of you need community partnerships, organizations that you're connecting with in the community. Make sure they're well respected. You have an accounting firm, you could go to your local library, which I think is a great community partner, and give free tax talks. It's going to do a couple of things, right? It will potentially get you customers, but also it's going to raise your level of visibility, right? Because libraries promote their speakers. Why is this important? Because this question is going to be on the grant application and you are expected to have community partners. Foundations do not expect you to work in a silo. You can't do this alone, right? This is year 17 for me. You cannot do this alone. As a business owner of 17 years, if you don't take anything else away from me in terms of how you become successful, you cannot do it alone. And it is easy for you to connect with community organizations, community partners, whether the universities, women's business organizations, Greek organizations, the why. Let yourself be known because foundations are always looking at who's doing what in their community to help them determine where to give grant funding to. So raise your level of visibility. Let me give you another example to make it super clear. Let's say a young lady has a re-entry program, meaning she wants to help ex-offenders to become successful members of their community. Now, she's got to interview them while they're inmates to make sure they qualify for her program. I want you to tell me in the chat who you think she should be partnering with in the community. Now, this is a reentry program. She wants to make sure ex-offenders, once they are released into society, that they become successful. Let me know who you think she should be partnering with right now in the chat. Right now in the chat. Who should she be meeting? The jails, Lynette, absolutely. She's got to get access to the prisoners. Novelar, is that it? Or Novelar? Local churches, right? Because a lot of local churches have ex-offender programs, right? The court systems, right? So that they can keep up with their court dates, right? Department of Corrections, Christine, absolutely. Do you want them to be gainfully employed? Right? Should she be connecting with maybe organizations that hire ex-offenders, or do you want them to have some type of housing? You don't want them to be homeless, right? What about transitional homes? Right? What about workforce development programs? Right, exactly. The parole board, Department of Corrections, they need to know, right? Because you want ex-offenders to be successful. And so right there, we were able to name what, like 5 or 6 different places, just like this. It's not difficult. This is your homework. Each and every one of you, name 5 organizations that you are going to connect with. 5, based on your program. All right, if you want to drop them to the chat, if I have time, I will comment about them at the end. We're on to the money. This is your grant budget. This is how you explain ways in which you will be using the grant money. Whatever you do, itemize your expenses. You can't put into the grant application, I need 50 grand for an executive director and let that be it. No, itemize. What is the person's hourly rate? How many hours will they work a week? How many weeks in the year? You need supplies. What supplies do you need? How many? Who's using the supplies? That description of how you're using the money always goes into the budget narrative. And I always include a budget narrative, even if the grant application doesn't ask for one, because I want that foundation to know that I know I need to connect the money that I'm asking for back to the goal of my program and my mission and their mission, right? Because however you're using that money needs to fulfill not only your mission, but the foundation's mission for giving you the money in the first place, right? Now, this is the slide here. If you don't take anything else away from this webinar based on grants and grant writing, this is it. Relationship building. Meet with the funder first. Meet with the funder before you submit that grant application, because this is oftentimes the deciding factor as to who gets the grant money. Did you meet with them? Did you meet with them? They want to meet with you. They're considering giving you funding. You need to meet with them. And in these meetings, you will get insight into the grant that's not even available on their website, because this is a relationship. You're having a conversation. There's no need to be nervous. They want to meet with you. I always think of one particular meeting. I set up with a client, 30-minute Zoom meeting. Client got $30,000. And yes, I said Zoom. Now, if you live in close proximity to the foundation, meet with them in person. But if not, this is a 30-minute Zoom meeting, right? And I know a lot of you are thinking, Linda, this sounds good, but I don't have time. I just don't have time for this. One, remember what I said at the beginning, that a lot of applications are 2, 3, 4 pages. But also, I have another question for you. But first, think about AI. AI will give you your time back. All right. If you are using ChatGPT to help you write grants, it will give you your time back. But also think about this for those of you who are just thinking, like, I don't have time. Answer my question in the chat, please. Like, do you have time to get free money? Do you have time to get free money? Right? Let me see in the chat if anybody has time to get free money. I'm saying yes, 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 yes. I'm saying yes, ma'am. I'm saying I will make time. I'm saying yes, 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 triple yeses. So it sounds like you got time to get this free money. So I need for you to spend just a little bit of time on the process. On the process. This is money you don't pay back. This is money you don't pay back. Now, before I get to the grant research, I want to explain to you what you need to do here. How do you meet with these foundations? You're going to send an email to them. In the email, you describe your organization, you align your mission and your programming with where they fund. Right there in the email. Whatever you do, you never, ever, ever ask for money in that email. You're going to get an automated rejection letter. You ask for a meeting in the email, and in the meeting, you ask for the money. All right. Now, let's find the money. You need to conduct some grant research. Now, Google is fine, but you need to go to a portal where you can research and find grants. And yes, there's a cost. These people spend time and effort putting together lists of grants for you. All right, so the Foundation Directory Online is the leading source of information on grants in the U.S. Now, they give you the names of the organizations providing the grants, not the grant itself. So if you have a veterans program, you're in Detroit, you provide veterans with transitional housing, input that information into FDL, also called Candid. They changed their name. And then we'll give you a list of organizations that will fund your type of program. And guess what? They may be $50 a month to subscribe, but FDL is free at your local library. Free, free, free. Grants.gov, that's a free site. We know that there are still some federal grants available. Lilly Foundation, are you a faith-based organization or a church? There are absolutely grants available. Grant Watch, I love. They're $20 a week or $200 for the whole year. And they do give you the actual grant and a synopsis of it and a link to it and the source for the grant and the contact information and the deadline. $20 a week, $200 for the whole year. Grant Station I love as well. They do give you information about the grants and the organizations and a ton of free training. UrbanAwarenessUSA.org, they're Black owned. They probably drop information on 2 or 3 grants every week. Every week. Now, this is how you conduct the grant research. This is Grant Watch. Now you check, are you a nonprofit or a business? And then you start completing these filters, right? Where is your location. Who are you serving? In other words, who is that target population? What is your area of interest? And then you complete the information, you push a button, you get a list of grants. And let me say something to all of you about location, because many of you leave money on the table. You leave money on the table because you should start local. You should be seeking local grants at your local community foundation or your local corporation, or seeking local sponsorships first. But don't disregard the national grants. There could be a foundation in Texas and they're giving money to you and you're in Tennessee. So look outside of your state as well. And for my international friends, this is for you as well. I had somebody from Panama City, Panama with me earlier today. These grants are for you. You have to utilize these search engines and know that they also include international grant opportunities. This is not just for US-based organizations. Now, I have a little list of grants here just to let you know that there are still grants available targeted to you, regardless of what you might be hearing. HelloAlice.com, they have like 6 grants right now. Amber Grants for Women, they give away $30,000 every single month. 37angels.com, now that's if you want a significant amount of investment, right? All they do is invest in women's businesses up to $150,000. And by the way, those of you who are startups, Amber Grants for Women, they have startup grants, $10,000 based on an idea. An idea. All right, sky's the limit. Startup money. Amarillo, they give to super small organizations, meaning maybe you. So no, you don't have to be some huge conglomerate. You can be a super small organization and get grants. They also give money to all volunteer organizations. You don't need some huge organizational chart. Maybe you don't pay anyone. Maybe you don't pay yourself. You can still get grant money. All right. Now, really quickly, I want you to place into the chat. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about like banks and money? Banks and money? Tell me what you think about. First thing comes to your mind. Banks and money, banks and money, banks and money. Loans, right? Credit line, loans. Yes. Do you know that banks are some of the largest providers of grants? This is why you've got to be in a community. You have to know this information. This is not what they're telling you out in those internets, right? Banks, grant money, yes. Now I'm giving you 4 hot leads here. Truist, TD Banks, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, hundreds of millions of dollars in grants. They have all given hundreds of millions of dollars. And it doesn't even have to be your bank. It could be a bank with, maybe they have a good presence in your community. Maybe they have a headquarters office or a regional office, right? Banks. So I need you to know that this money is available to you outside of what's happening at the federal level. That's just one area for grants. People are getting grant money every single day. Like, I can't stress this. I feel like I just want to shout it from the rooftops. People are getting grant money every single day, regardless of what's going on in the White House. All right. Now, if you use ChatGPT, good for you. Just be careful. Use it as a tool, not a replacement. There's no magic button that you push and poof, there's a magical grant application. Doesn't work that way. That's not even how ChatGPT works. You have to feed it. You have to feed it information about you, and you need to be able to write about your organization. And then you can feed it into AI to have it perfected or make it longer or give you research. It will help, absolutely. It will help you write faster and better, but you've got to understand the basics of what you need to complete a grant. How do you write your mission, your needs statement, your impact statement? How do you write about your project or your service or your target population? Right? Whether you are a nonprofit or a small business, it doesn't matter. because we know now that there are grants for both. And this is where my surprise comes in, because I have created a product that will help you do exactly that. Is a grant writing course. It will take you through every part of a grant narrative and teach you how to write every single part. Doesn't matter if you are a nonprofit or a small business. This is where so many small businesses get stuck. Because in my course, I'm asking you these questions that probably nobody's asked you before. But this is how you win grant money. And your secret weapon is me, because I'm going to serve as your grant coach. Yes, yes, yes. Right? So yes, the course will teach you how to write every part of a grant application. I will teach you in the course how to conduct grant research so that you can find grants based on what you need. But here is the secret weapon. I have a private Facebook group. It is remarkable, I have to say. The students in this group, they are there to even help everybody else get grants, right? Because they post more grants than I do. And I post a lot of grants in the group. But let's say you set up that meeting with the bank to talk about a grant, not a loan, a grant. Do you know what to say? Do you know how to say it? Do you know what to bring to the meeting? Do you know what you never leave that meeting without knowing? That is where you're going to come into our private Facebook group. Let us know. I'm getting ready to meet with ABC Foundation. Linda, what do I say? What do I bring with me? How do I present myself? We will tell you. We will tell you. Now, you may go through the course and learn how to write your grant budget, but do you know how much money you should be asking for? Come into the Facebook group. Linda, I want to apply for this grant. It's $10,000. How do I split it up? Should I spend $5,000 for contractors, or maybe I need supplies, or I need marketing for my program? We will help you. This is why being in a community, I can't stress this enough, is so important, so that you get the right answers to your questions and that you're no longer confused and not knowing where to go or how to ask questions, or I won almost $18 million. This is how I did it. I'm wanting to show you so that you can do the same right now. Not now, but right now. Because this money is available, $189 billion flowing throughout the year. 12 modules, 35 lessons. You get a video in front of most of the lessons. You can download the lessons. We have workbooks and quizzes. And I have been hired to build grant applications. Yes, I have. Which means I had to determine grant questions. And I've utilized questions for this course. So this is like you are completing a fantastic grant application, only now you have help. You have help 24/7, right? So that you can get the answer that will showcase your organization. And then you are going to take that grant template when you are done, and you're going to start applying for grant after grant after grant. This is why it's easier and faster. And yes, I give you examples, winning examples, so that you see what a winning grant application looks like. All included in the course. Here's my course bonuses. I said I was here to help you, and I am. You get a list of 600 organizations. 600. All provide grants. The private Facebook group, everything. We drop so many grants in the Facebook group. You can get help. People connect. They seek out other daycare centers, other accounting groups, other law firms. I mean, you name the industry, we have it as a student in the Facebook group. Everybody helping everybody else. And then because I want you to be successful, I want you to start winning this grant money. You get an hour of monthly group coaching. I say it's an hour. It's never really an hour, because I stay until every question is done. I'm here to help you, right? Navigate through this grant craziness that's happening right now, so that you understand, yes, money is still available. Now, you see these numbers, look at these numbers. You're not even going to pay a fraction of these numbers, but these numbers are important because they mean something. I've had my course audited 3 times now. So the 12 modules, the 35 lessons that I created are worth $3,549. The intro videos are worth $599. The funding list, $600 built into the course, worth $500. You get workbooks and planners and grant trackers. You can download them, worth $350. This is the slide that I want you to see. And this is intentional, right? Because people ask me, Linda, why would you sell your course at this small amount? You have a $5,000 course audited as such. It's similar to a university course, only it's easier and you get all the help that you need to make it through so that you end with that beautiful template that you're going to use again and again and again. Or you can place the information that you write into ChatGPT and it will help you out as well. So my course is normally $997 because of what's happening this year. It's reduced to $497. I keep saying I'm not going to be another hurdle placed in front of you. There are so many hurdles placed in front of us as women leaders. I'm not going to be one of them. I want the course affordable. Even though, yes, I have colleagues that charge $2,000 for their grant writing courses, and you don't get anywhere near what you get with this course. And you certainly don't get access to them where I'm giving you access to me. All right, through the monthly coaching calls, and then I'm in the Facebook group so often. You came on the webinar, so guess what you get? You get an additional $200 off for the next 3 days. You're paying $297, one and done. That's it. That's not a monthly payment. Now I have other services that are far more expensive, but I keep my course low to help as many people as I possibly can. And it's working because I have helped thousands of organizations just like you, people who have never written a grant before, have never won $1, are winning six-figure grants with this course. JULY08, that's important because that is your code to take off the $200 to get you down to $297. If you want to maybe use a 2-month payment plan with us, it's $175 a month for 2 months. Use code JULY08, but put a little T on the end of the code. That means 2 months. Let us know you want the 2-month payment plan. So you've got one payment, $297 covers everything, or monthly payment plan of $175 a month. And yes, you read right. The course never expires. It's forever, because you will need help forever, all right? Because you want to always be applying for grants. So you get the course, the Facebook group, the coaching, write everything off. It's all tax deductible, all right? And yes, you get a certificate of completion. And I didn't even talk about the templates. I get you the help you need. I'm trying to make this easier. Remember I said you need to send an email to the foundation to set up the meeting? I have the template. I have the email template. Remember we talked about partnerships? You need partnerships. I have the email template that you send to the organizations to create a partnership. I have a grant application template. You want financials? I have templates. An MOU is a memorandum of understanding. So if you are going to enter into a particular partnership where there may be an exchange of resources of money, I have that too. I talked a little bit about sponsorships earlier. I have sponsorship documents. I have sponsorship templates that you can use, right? I want to make this easy for you. And then of course you get a list of funders. This is all $297, one payment, one and done. Use your code JULY08 or the 2-month payment plan, JULY08T. You have until Friday. And here's your extra bonus. Remember I said AI will give you your time back. I'm giving you my grant guide, my $200 grant guide. 10 steps to easier and faster grant writing includes a video by me literally showcasing to you how you can use AI to write grants faster and better. And you know, when it comes to ChatGPT, it's all about what? The prompts. I give you 100. 100. You have it. We have it free with the course. Yes. So if you want to buy the course, the link is right in the chat. I'm going to show you how to do it here. When you press the link in the chat, you're going to see this page here. Press purchase now. If you want to just pay the $297, you're one and done, $297, hit the link, hit purchase now. You will see this page here. You have a coupon. Most people do not, and you have a large coupon. Click have a coupon. Input your coupon code. JULY08 is going to take off $200. You're going to be paying $297 for everything we talked about. Finally, no more frustration. You will know where to find grants, how to write them, how to win them, how to meet, and all these other secrets that other people are not telling you as to how you can still get grant money, even now. And this little block here, that is if you want to meet with me privately. That is an Ask the Expert private grant coaching VIP session. We will meet. Before you and I talk about grant, I'm going to talk about your mission, vision, infrastructure, target population, your programming. I even give you a list of grants. Oh, I get you together in that meeting. You will leave with perfect clarity. If you have like all these ideas up in here, you will leave with one. And you even get the session notes, and I even give you the video. It's $495. The only time you'll ever see it discounted to $195, you have to buy it with the course. If you don't buy it with the course, I say this all the time, it's $495. It's $195 if you buy it with the course. All right, so you just click it and add it on. Now, for those of you who need extra help, we have Affirm Afterpay and Klarna. That's buy now, pay later. This is only with the one payment option. The $297, guess what? You can spread it over 4 interest-free payments. Do you know what that means? That means $75 a month. Like, I don't even know of a grant that's $75. So as soon as you win a grant, you have paid for everything. But if you want to take advantage of the 4-month same as cash, when you go to buy the course, you input your code, right? You determine whether or not you want to meet with me privately. So you click the box. You don't have to. It's optional. Put in your zip code, your email address, and then when you get to this payment method box, you may have to click it a couple of times until you see Affirm, Klarna, or Afterpay. They literally ask you to pay another way. So just keep clicking pay another way until you see Klarna, Afterpay, or Affirm. That's 4 months same as cash. Or if you just want to pay $297, you're done. Use your credit card, use PayPal, use Cash App, use Google Pay. All right. And then I mentioned that the other payment option is for you to just pay us twice. You can do that as well. 2 times $275. Click purchase now. But remember, you have a coupon. Input your coupon code JULY08 with the little T at the end for 2 months. It will take off $100. You're only paying $175 per month for 2 months, and you are done. And yes, you can add on the private grant coaching. Now, for those of you who are ready, you have to be ready. I have a grant boot camp. It's 2 months worth of work that I teach you in 2 days. It's 7 hours a day for 2 days, 14 hours. You have to be ready, because when you finish at the end of those 2 days, you will have a completed grant application that you're going to submit. You will have a custom grant template that you're going to use to apply for grant after grant after grant. You will have a list of grant opportunities. You will have your implementation plan. I'm going to teach you how to use AI over the course of these 2 days. Now, here's Keisha. Keisha took the boot camp February 27th and 28th. 6 weeks later, she had her first grant. This is a person that had never, ever, ever written a grant before. 2 weeks after that, she had a $100,000 grant. $100,000 grant is $1,997 for the boot camp for 2 payments of $1,249. You literally get $11,000 worth of so much merchandise, information in my time. It's you and me for 2 days. All right. So if you're interested, the link is in the chat, but if you want more information, we can do that. All right. Send me an email, and then we can talk about the boot camp. Now, these testimonials are from people, they just paid for the course. They just paid $300 for the course. That was it. Less than $300 is what they paid. June 2nd, Nicola, $250,000. $250,000. Think about the ROI on that. She spent less than $300. Her application was so good that she only applied for $50,000 over the course of 2 years. They countered and said, wait a minute, can we give you 5 times that amount? We want you to implement this in other locations. $250,000. She spent less than $300 on the grant writing course. Whitney, $200,000 over the course of a year. Whitney never thought she would get any grant money. She did exactly what I'm asking you to do. She started local with her Southern Power Fund. This is another gem for you. Go to your utility companies. They have foundations. Then she went national and got $50,000 from the National Birth Equity Collaborative. Kanisha, $100,000 this year. Kimberly, $84,000 just about maybe 5 weeks ago. Cherie, $11,000. And let me give you a note about Cherie. This is what I want you all to do. Whenever you win grant money, you always go back to that same organization and apply for more grants. And the second time you apply, you always ask for more money, like Cherie. She applied for $10,000 last year, got $11,000 this year, right? $20,000 went to Tranquility Point Therapeutic Massage, LLC, for profit. Remember I said, it doesn't always matter what you do, as long as you're doing something legal. They are a massage company, an LLC in Charlotte, and they got $20,000. Christina had never written a grant in her life before she was even scared. She said, Linda, I just would not have even had the confidence to follow through. And I know that's where many of you are. You're scared to do this, but guess what? You've got to do it scared. This is free money. You got to do it scared. She did it. She won $10,000. All right. You've got to do this scared, but I am here with you to hold your hand through everything. To be that little secret weapon to get you from a place where you're just either not applying at all, not applying correctly, wondering where there are grants. I give you all of this information so that you know where you should be going. Because those of you who buy the course, I do something special for you that I didn't even mention. When you buy the course, you're going to get your link to the Facebook group. When you get in the Facebook group, I'm going to ask you for a synopsis of your organization. Just give me a couple of paragraphs. Who are you? What are you doing? Who are you serving? And I'm going to respond with a list of links where you need to go to start searching for grants for your organization. This is all for $297, people, that if you want to, you can spread over 4 payments. We're at the Q&A, but before you leave, I need for you to do something for you and not for me. I believe in manifestation. We don't even have time to sit on the sidelines anymore. This grant money is available. It's available now. And you saw from the beginning, there's even a greater opportunity for you to get it. But do it the right way. Be in a community where you can get help. I am tired of hearing these horror stories about people being scammed, being told to turn X when they should have turned Y, right? This is a community that I have created. So I want you right now, before you leave, I want you to do something for you. I believe in manifestation. Into the webinar chat, I want you to get it from up here and release it. I want you to write, I am ready to get grant money. I am ready to get grant money. Every single one of you, I am ready to get grant money. I am ready to get grant money. I am ready to get grant. That's right. Is it Loistine? Loistine? Like, write this out. Lynette, write this, all of you, because some of you, I know you've been sitting on the sidelines wondering, waiting, watching. I'm trying to give you a $5,000 grant writing course with my help and access to me for $297. Christine, Lena, Pat, Tracy, what we need to do right now, first of all, right? I am ready to get grant money. We need to give Aisha some love because Aisha bought the course. Aisha was like, Linda, I'm done. I'm tired. Not knowing where to go, not knowing what I should be saying, where I should be looking. Aisha, when you get into the Facebook group, first of all, you're going to get 3 emails. One email will be a welcome email. The other email will be your password, username into the course. You start, you don't wait on me. It's on a platform called Thinkific. It's all digital. You come to the Facebook group for help and the group coaching calls. You don't want to miss a one. But when you get into the Facebook group, I'm going to ask you, Aisha, give me just a paragraph, just a few lines about your organization. I'm going to respond with links to where you should be seeking grants based on your specific organization, because I want you to get off to a good start. All right, so I will do that for you. All right, Tracy, Pat, Christine, Lena, Nolia, Loistine, Lavette, I'm ready to get grant money. I'm ready to get grant money. All right. I'm going to go into the Q&A, but I don't see any questions in the Q&A, but I think I saw some in the webinar chat. So I'm going to go down here slowly, 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 and see if I can find questions. Let's see, let's see, let's see. I do offer mentorship. I offer the one-on-one coaching, right? You can provide, you can get coaching one of two ways. The 1 hour session, you can buy multiple hours if you want. But I also have a coaching program, which, do you have the link to the coaching program, Melissa? If you do, could you put it into the chat? If you have, if not, I can find it. You can start with the $297 and add the boot camp later. You can. You can. Keisha started with the boot camp. She's like, I need the boot camp. And then you have people who buy the coaching program. So I'm going to quickly get this. Let me try to get, let's see, the link to the coaching program. This is it here. I'm going to drop this into the chat. So there's a coaching program. Oh, let me do this really quickly because some of you are asking how to buy the course. So I'm going to do two things. Let me first get into the course and show you really quickly how you buy it. All right, let me go back here. Okay, this is how you buy the course for those of you who are asking. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if I can get it up here. There we go. If you want to pay the $297, just click the link. You will see this page. You see where it says have a coupon. Most people do not have a coupon. You have a huge coupon, by the way. You have JULY08. That's taking up $200. There you are. You're only paying $297. If you want to add the coaching, you can add it. You're at $492. Put in your email, and then now either you can just pay with a credit card or PayPal, or what do we have here? Google Pay. Or if you want it's actually 4 months, same as cash, you can click Affirm, Afterpay, or Klarna. If you want the 2-month payment plan, click 2 times $275. But remember, you've got a coupon. It's going to take off $100 a month. 08 with the little T. You press it. It takes off $100. You're paying $175 a month for 2 months. That's it. One and done. Then you can add the group coaching. Now, I think if I change over, let me know if you can see the group coaching page. Someone was asking about the coaching. Here's the coaching. You get accountability. I will give you grant research techniques. We're meeting one-on-one with the group coaching, one-on-one. I will teach you how to use AI. I will actually review grant applications. That's part of the grant coaching, right? That's typically a separate service. That's $1,500 per grant, but it's embedded into the coaching program. So package 1 is worth $11,000. It's a 3-month program. It's $1997, or 3 monthly payments of $27.97. All right, you get 3 60-minute one-on-one calls, a complete grant review. You get the course, the AI guide, and so much more, right? Or some people, last person bought the 6-month program. She wanted a longer coaching program. That's $37.97, or 3 monthly payments of $13.99. And you're getting 6 sessions with me, and then 3 complete grant reviews. I want to be able to see that grant before it's submitted, right? And help you with it. So that's package 2. So I'm going to just drop the coaching link into, let me stop sharing and drop the coaching link. So if you're interested, there you are. All right, let me just see if there are any. Do we have this link in the email? The link to, you're going to get a reminder with your code. If you want to buy the course at the $297, you've got 3 days. So you're going to get emails with your replay. Remember, you're getting a free replay of this session, and you're also going to get the code that you need to buy the course over the course of the next 3 days. So you will get all of that via email. All right. Let me just make sure I have answered all of the questions. Here we go. Is it possible to submit for more than one grant? Absolutely. This is what you must be doing. We talked about that, right? Submitting to more than one grant opportunity. You should be doing this. Like, don't ever just apply to one grant and be done. No, 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 no. Always apply to more than one grant. Always, always, always. All right, let's see. Other questions? Other questions. Let's see here. So I offer mentorship absolutely through the coaching program. Let me see if I have any other questions. And now I just want you to understand that there are so many grants available that have nothing to do with the federal government, right? The banks, the private organizations, so many other. So what community chamber? So community engagement. So community organizations could be many different organizations, right? Chamber of Commerce, absolutely. If you're a small business really or a nonprofit, you need to belong to your Chamber of Commerce, because there are nonprofits that belong to chambers. And oftentimes chambers will have grant opportunities. I know mine does. That's another community partner. Your community partner will depend on what you do, right? It depends on what service you provide, because you want to connect with another organization that can move you forward. So it really depends on what is your service, what is your organization, right? Let's see. Let me just see if there are any other questions here. All right, all right, all right. So yes, in the email. Embroidery service, need money for new equipment. What are you doing with it? What are you doing with it? What are you doing with your embroidery service? You have to think about what is making you different. I'm going to give you an example. I have a student. She's in the course. She's a designer. She's a high-end designer. And with her extra fabric, she makes clothes for the homeless. So if I'm a foundation and I have a designer here that's looking for grant money, and I have another designer over here that's looking for grant money, but this designer over here makes clothes for the homeless based on her extra fabric. All other things being equal, who's going to get the money? The person who's doing a little bit of extra, right? So the person that has the embroidery service, that's arts and culture. So when you seek grants in the arts and culture category. But ask yourself, what are you doing with your embroidery service that singles you out, that makes you a little different? Because that's oftentimes small businesses struggle with this, right? But I want to give you another example. Excuse me. Let's say you have a jewelry, an online jewelry company. You're a small business, you sell jewelry online. What sets you apart? Why would an organization give you a grant? There's probably a million organizations that sell jewelry online. What is setting you apart? Do you make jewelry for people with sensitive skin? That's going to set you apart. Do you make handmade jewelry? Excuse me, that's going to set you apart. There's a individual with a well-known restaurant here in Cleveland. He has a 3-star restaurant. He receives so much grant money that he's really a national model for working with ex-offenders because he hires ex-offenders in his 3-star restaurant and he hires them to be chefs. He had a for-profit. He started a nonprofit for the sole purpose of seeking this grant money. And so he brings ex-offenders into his program and he trains them as chefs. And then they leave his restaurant to become chefs of their own restaurant. He receives so much grant money. So I say this so that you ask yourself, what am I doing a little different? Why should an organization give me grant money over another organization that's providing the same service? What am I doing a little bit? See, there you are. Lena says she donates 20% of her profit to something, right? So when you are applying for grants, that needs to be like literally in the first paragraph so that people know, okay, you're not just another embroidery organization. You now participate in community engagement because you're donating 20% of your goods to something. And what is that something? And why is it that something? That's part of the story. Remember, I said a grant application is you telling your story? Because I guarantee you, wherever you're giving that 20% to, there's a story behind it. And that is what foundations want to read. They don't, this is why I cannot tell you how many people are using AI to write their entire grant application only to have it completely rejected. Foundations don't want to read the same application over and over and over and over and over again. No, they want to know your story. And only you know your story. You can tell it to Chat GPT and have it rephrase it for you, perfect it for you. But this is why the grant writing course is so important because it forces you to write your story. And then you take that story, and if you want to, you can put it into AI. What are you doing a little different? What are you doing a little differently? That's going to showcase who you are and what you do. And yes, foundations actually have software now where they can detect. If you have used AI to write that entire grant application without you using any of your words, and it becomes an ethical issue now because you're using all words belonging to somebody else and not your own. That's why you've got to learn how to write the grant application. Then you can use AI to perfect it. All right. Let's see if there are any other questions. But yes, you said you want to buy new equipment. That is absolutely an avenue where you could be searching for grants for new. But let me take her as an example. She has an embroidery service. This is for all of you. You should be looking to your industries. Do you have a restaurant? Hennessy and Tito's, they make alcohol. They both have grant programs. Are you in transportation? Every major airline has a foundation. Go to your own industry to seek grant money. FedEx has a grant. UPS has a grant. For those of you who are in the transportation industry, you're in embroidery. Do you know of Singer? Right? They make the sewing machines, or Brother, they make the sewing machines. Maybe they have a grant program, right? To their social, usually it's some type of a social, I think a social conscious department, or sometimes it's outreach, right? Find out whether or not they have a grant program. Find out whether or not they have a grant program. That's your same industry. Singer, Brother, McCall's, right? They make the patterns, McCall's. Remember the McCall's patterns? I don't even know if they still make McCall's patterns. You know, I took, what was it called? Home economics. That was many moons ago in junior high school. Home economics. But I'm trying to get you to understand that there are so many ways in which you should be searching for grant money. I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to wrap it up. Know that you've got 3 days to get the course, to get the huge $200 discount. You're only paying $297, for some of you $75 a month for 4 months, to get help, to stop being confused, to know exactly what you need to be doing, right? For less than $300. All right. All right. So let me just make sure. Who would I write to regarding my homemade all natural cosmetics? and herbal supplements. All right. So that's the beauty industry. L'Oreal, they have a grant every single year. L'Oreal opens up a grant. So that's beauty and industry. All right. So you should be looking at the beauty and industry area. All right. For herbal supplements, that's health and wellness. Search for health and wellness grants. But there's a way, that's what the course is for. The course will show you where to search for grants in your area, right? But I'm off the top of my head, all natural cosmetics. And there are Tory Burch, famous designer Tory Burch. She has a phenomenal fellowship program for women business owners, right? And so that's all, that's the fashion industry, but it's so closely connected to beauty. You might want to apply to her program, right? But overall, that's the health and beauty industry, and also health and wellness for herbal supplements. So search in those categories, all right? And the course will show you exactly how to do it. But look to your industry, look to your industry. Okay, I don't see any other questions. Let me make sure that we are done here. All right. So I want to thank you all for hopping on. Keep in mind, you've got 4 days to be in a community where you can get the help that you need. All right. And you've got 3 more days to get this amazing course for less than $300 that you're going to write off anyway. All right. You have until Friday. I want to thank you all so much. My name is Linda Peavy, and I am creator of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys Winning Grant Proposals, and founder of LaPav Consulting. I want to wish you all the best. Whatever you do, keep moving forward, because there's a lot of negativity out there that's trying to keep you from doing that. So keep moving forward. Be encouraged by what I've taught you today, that yes, there are grants available. If you want to come into this community where you get the support and help that you need, you are so welcome. We want to help you. I want to help you get to the grant money. All right. But whatever you do, keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. You have a blessed and a safe weekend. And hopefully I will see you in the grant writing Facebook group over the course of the next 3 days. And Aisha, I will see you in there. All right. All right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.